Spicy's in the house, my people, and as you know, I would give out 8 Amazon gift cards of $25 each, so go ahead, subscribe and like this video. Also let me know if you subscribe in a comment so I can show you some love. I also just launched a new self-development channel, so if you can click the link in the description to support me, that would be great. Congratulations Tamari for the comment of the day. I don't work here, Halloween edition. Very surprised I don't work here lady actually happened to me. I walk into a computer store in the middle of a Halloween day to find a special cable. I am wearing a gray polo with my small company's name and logo and brown pants. Nothing like how the employees are dressed. Just 20 seconds of being in the store, a woman who could not be more than 30 asked me, "Hey, do you know where the USBs are?" She seemed to ask in a "do you happen to know" sort of way, so I figured it was just a quick question to see if I had passed by them or something. I did actually know where they were and they were an aisle down, so I guided her over and showed her and was just about to walk away when we had this exchange. Cool. And these would work with a MacBook, right? If it has a standard USB slot. Yeah. Oh, and what are the return policies on these? 31 days? It clicks in my head that she thinks I work here. Oh, I don't. I pointed at my shirt and spoke that line. Stopped and started to smile because her face creeped into a "whoops, I made a mistake" look. Yeah. Oh, so you guys dress up as employees of different stores on Halloween. That's pretty clever. What? No, I don't work here. What do you mean? Still smiling. I don't work here. I do not actually work here. She then realized her mistake. I tried to make it less awkward for her because her face was in her hands and she was not speaking by telling her I thought her idea was really cool and she should tell the store about doing just that next year. But she did not really recover from what I guess was pretty embarrassing for her. I am eating a damn cupcake. So I used to work for an art supply store in a busy Australian shopping center. About a month or two ago, after being fucked around and having my hours cut due to company favoritism, I finally quit. I am still really good friends with my old manager, assistant manager, and one of the other casual employees. Last week, I met up with my friend the casual for lunch and to hang out, and we decided to visit and say hi to my old manager and assistant manager. Because they knew I was coming, my old manager brought cupcakes and gave one to me. So, I am standing halfway down the aisle, staring at paint in black jeans, black and white polka dot see-through shirt, silver flat shoes, sunglasses on head, phone in hand, and eating a cupcake as my old manager, who I was talking to, quickly walked away to grab something, and this lady bypasses 2 employees in full black plus blue and yellow apron at a counter. Literally walked past them to walk halfway down an aisle to ask if I worked there. I know it is not an exciting story, but I just don't get why people are so dumb. This reminded me of another story about dumb asses. 4 years ago, I was managing a store for the same company in the city. One tiny shop front over was another well-known art shop, Lincraft, which was on 2 floors. Our brand is bright blue, yellow and red, apron bright ultramarine blue. Lincraft is like dull blue and gray, aprons like grayish. People will ask us what Lincraft sold all the damn time. And if you said, "Sorry, I don't know," 70% of the time they would yell at you. Honestly, the city is the worst place to work. All these important business people don't have time for us lowly retail workers. Anyway, this guy came in looking for a product that he could not name or seemingly describe. After a round of 20 questions, I figure out what it is and tell him we don't sell it. He says it is on our website. I tell him it is not. I've been there 4 years at the time and never seen it. He goes off at me, calling me a liar and an idiot. And eventually, he either shows me the website or mentions the name of the store, and naturally, it is Lincraft. I politely point out that Lincraft sells the product. He's like, "I know," and tells me to get it. I tell him we are not Lincraft as I grab my apron and stretch it, over-exaggeratingly, out to see our company name. He's confused as to what the issue is, so I tell him again that I am a different company. He is still angry at me and tells me that he thought since we were next to each other that we were connected in the same company and that I could just get it. Remember, there's an empty storefront separating us. When for the 3rd time I confirm we are not the same store, he says something along the lines of, "This is ridiculous. and that I have bad customer service, and stormed out of the store. Honestly, I was nice to him. It was not long before my soul was completely destroyed in that place, and I became an asshole who did not take shit from anyone. For the 17th time, I do not work here. I work at a hostel in Laos and was on a border run in Cambodia for a week, just hanging out at a different hostel. When you work in hostel in Southeast Asia, you almost always know someone who either works or has worked at the other popular ones around. So I was mainly hanging out with the reps at this new one. Also, when you join, the bar crawl you get the top that the reps wear. So that's what I was wearing. So one night, we were just at the bar and this group of very entitled girls would come up to me every maybe 15 minutes and rudely ask for a drink or to put in a song request. The reps next to me will just go and I didn't feel the need to say anything at first. The group of girls got really drunk and we are now requesting food and rounds of drinks. So I told them that I did not work there. 10 minutes later, the same girls come up and try to order shots of me. So I reminded them that I did not work there. Next thing I see is the girls, now very drunk, telling the manager of this hostel how lazy I was and how unhelpful I am while pointing at me, to which the manager also lets them know that I don't work there, before pointing out the 3 people who do work there and telling them to ask them. After midnight, the bar at this hostel closes and we go to Pub Street for the bar crawl. The girls are absolutely blind by this point. And when we are at a bar, they start ordering stuff off of me again as if I am a waitress. I am also pretty drunk right now and much less patient. Even more annoying is that this is not even the hostel bar. This is a completely different place. They point out that I am in their shirt, so I must work there. I am absolutely dumbfounded at this stage because now they are also in their shirt. I am sick of being harassed with orders from these very entitled girls, so I just say, okay, I will get your drinks. It will be $5. Cambodia uses American currency. And I go to the bar. I get myself a few beers and we go sit in a different section of the bar and just watch them get angrier and angrier. Then I go home. The next day, I wore different, non-bar related clothes. And they come and sit with me at the bar and introduce themselves as if they have never seen me before. Foul-mouthed old woman mad, I told her to stop loudly cussing. Reports me to my manager. This story is a couple of years old. I don't know why, I just remember it, so I am sharing it. I censored myself to avoid tripping up any subreddit bots. My wife works at the local grocer, so sometimes if I have the car for the day, I stop by a few minutes before the end of her shift and get the grocery shopping done. The store uniform is blue jeans and a particular button-up black shirt. I usually wear tan jeans and a blue hoodie. On one such day, I heard what sounded like a 12-year-old boy whispering at someone, then shouting random cuss words, like the penis game except when the entire vocabulary of English cuss words. My brain assumed it was a pair of 12-year-old boys, for obvious reasons. The area is really highly religious. Not my religion, but I respect it. And a lot of people try to avoid letting their kids hear cuss words. And to be honest, I cuss like a sailor, but the frequency and volume of these cuss words were making me uncomfortable. So I head over, ready to, it takes a village, scold some boys, and find instead to my surprise, an old homely woman on her cell phone, just cussing up a storm loudly. She was not cussing at the person on the phone. She was cussing to them about whatever else. I decide to proceed as planned and said loud enough to interrupt her conversation. You need to keep your voice down. There are children here. She told me to mind my own business, and I told her that if I can hear her, it is my business. She hung up the phone saying, "Some girl won't shut up," and stormed away. I continued my shopping only to be approached by my wife's manager. Manager said that an old woman complained I was harassing her and that she thought I was an employee. I told the manager what the woman was doing and he, a highly religious person, agreed with me. He went over to the service counter where the old woman was waiting and they spoke quietly. He said, "This man does not work here." She whispered intensely at him, so he raised his voice and said he'd call the police if she could not calm down. She loudly screamed, "Screw you!" at him and sprinted to the exit. I finished shopping uninterrupted. She did wait for me outside the store to attack me, but God spoke that I was not alone and left. The old woman was probably a crackhead, but very unlikely to be homeless. Our area is economically depressed in the way that rent is lower than $200 for a studio flat. People have money for their crack and their rent here. Okay, how can I get some of that low rent? She does not work here, but I do. I am not the one who did not work there this time, but I don't know if the girl has a Reddit account. I did not see the story sorting by new and I am involved in this, so here it goes. I am a bartender at a small restaurant. Some hobby nonsense of an old boomer couple, but it keeps the lights on and it's been getting better for a while. It is near the end of the night, around 1:15. The place is dead. We have one regular, but nobody else. Most of the staff are looking busy or goofing off. One girl standing up front and her little sister shown up to hang out with her a bit and get some food. She's giving her order to her sister up front, but she has not sat down. She's just by the front entrance because reasons. She wanted her food directly in a box. We don't normally do that, but the employees sometimes take a meal home like that. The actual employees there ducks into the kitchen once they finish their conversation, like she could not bear to talk to her sister for one more second. And she's gone quite a while. Then they show up 45 minutes before we close. Of course, why would they ever not? See, we have these two regulars, an old boomer couple, we just call him and her, or equivalent, that are extremely awful to deal with. They don't show up often, but they look for any excuse to complain because the husband used to be the owner's pastor, and both the owner and his wife thinks the world of them. Read, they treat the staff like slaves, get free food half the time and never tip. So of course, they walk right past the girl, sit down and glare at her. She kinda shrugs back and he gawks for a moment before telling her to get a move on, you are not off yet. I didn't hear what she said to her husband, but I am guessing something about kids these days. All the young teenager up front did was look around, confused. He repeated himself, "You, are you high? Get our menus." And she did it. She made that mistake. She got their menus and then told them, "I don't work here, I'm just waiting for my order." Of course, she did not believe her. "Don't give me that, I see you serving here all the time." I start making my way over, but the girl tries to explain. "No, my sister works here, I'm 14. He rolls his eyes. "Not your sister, you. I'm not blind. I know the owner's wife left early today, but you can weasel your way out of serving us." So, if the 14 and 19-year-old look alike, to who is that a compliment and to who is that an insult? This is when I arrive, getting scolded from both of them. They really don't like me. Excuse me, this is the waitress named Little Sister. Her big sister is in the kitchen right now getting her order and will not be serving you tonight. I was adamant about that. The way they have treated her before was unacceptable. And if I had my way, they'd never be back. One of the order servers should be available to take your order though. Quickly, a waiter does arrive, take your order, having apparently just noticed what's happening up front. But while he was ordering, she was being herself. "Why do you keep defending her? She's lazy and she can't do her job." I don't get a chance to answer, but 1, this is not the same girl. 2, you are unacceptably awful to the girl you're thinking of. And 3, I hate you. About this point, the girl's sister shows up with her box and quickly holds her away from them. I was disappointed she was only confused, not embarrassed. She might be incapable of feeling shame. I look her dead in the eyes and tell her, "Have a nice meal." Bars closed due to excess paperwork. I then went to play solitaire. I had no paperwork left. There was not much to begin with. I just was not willing to serve them if I could avoid it. They eat and leave with no further incident. Not 5 minutes before we closed, several staff members had to stay late because of them, and so did I to help out a bit and lock the place up. That's all. Before you go away or enjoy my playlist of IDontWorkHereLady videos, remember that I just launched a new self-development channel, so click the link in the description to support me if you wish. Thank you for your support, and hopefully you can help me create better videos with your likes and comments. My name is Spicy, and I'm out.